Tone. Hey. I know she's following me out. Big Boss Smith shit. Gang. I've been tying me in different holes. Me and bro, we switching those. Hit her with a pick and roll. Tell her just to play a role. I ain't tryna take it slow. Playing on me like you low. And I know just how it goes. Shorty want me for my dough. Missed out on love twice. Fucking had to pay the price. Honest stitching with my ice. And this cup got me nice.
It's your boy Ep.8.
And it's your boy Ep.8.
Welcome back to another episode of Boss Talk. To the right of me, this is my homegirl KC.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all can just follow me at I am Casey Marie. You can see the magic on there. Oh, Casey is spelled Kace.
Definitely gonna tag her.
Yeah.
And then we have
And my name is China. You can follow me at Chinita.
a Y, not an I. Get it
Just
correct.
like
Got some sisters here today discussing
what is toxic.
What is toxic?
So we're just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna give a quick description of what I think toxic is. I think toxic is just having some type of energy in your life that is not giving you any type of positivity or giving you any type of growth. It's just holding you back and it's giving you headaches. I think a lot of people have those type of factors in their life and they don't know how to let it go. I'm gonna pass it off to Adi.
So toxic to me is something like, just like you said, is holding you back, is not helping you grow. That affects your life in a negative aspect. You may have fun, like some people say toxic is fun. But
That's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame, but yeah, the negative things in life tend to be fun, but still hold you back from being your greatest self.
I would say I agree with both you guys. I think toxic is just not adding no value to your life. Just something that's just there.
I don't like how I was saved for last because y'all said everything.
You can just
Wait, hold
what
on.
we said
Let me see. So, I think toxic really is something that like affects your mental in a negative way, like hopping on what everybody else said.
Yeah.
But toxic can be a little fun, but I think that's just the conditioning that we are
What
grown
society has
in.
taught
Yeah.
us to.
So I don't know. I'm 50-50 because toxic could be a little fun because when you're not toxic, it could be boring. And then what were you doing?
I'm not gonna lie, I had some toxic fun, but it's not okay. It's good to know what's toxic and what's not toxic.
So now what I would ask you is, when do you think toxicity occurs? And I'm gonna ask you first now since you was last.
Thank you. Toxicity, the two main places that I think toxicity happens is in family life and in relationship. And I think they go hand in hand because I think it starts at home. What you learn at home is what you're going to bring into your relationship. And I mean like romantic relationship, to be honest. I think we're kind of conditioned to learn these bad habits and then we're kind of thinking that it's okay because it's normalized. So it's definitely shown, it starts at home, but then I feel like it manifests when you're like emotionally involved in somebody and get close with them.
100%. How about you, China?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's your upbringing, like how you were raised, like what's your surroundings, what's your environment. Definitely takes a toll on what you bring to your, relationship.
100%. I think toxicity can revolve around anything, whether it's your relationship life, your friendships, your workplace, your environment, anywhere. Like any type of environment can be toxic. Even when like you're living in New York City, like the air over here is toxic.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, I do agree that it's a thing that is prevalent in our society. Social media, I think, is a major factor in it. I think the toxicity is glorified to an extent that it's
just
probably
a boy page.
that shit.
He's mad toxic.
It's funny, it's comical, but to what extent it's holding us back as a people. But even the adults is toxic.
Yeah.
So that's how the kids learn it. And it's like, damn. With adults.
But why would y'all think people stay in those type of toxic situations? That's leading up to the next question.
Yeah.
Why do people stay into toxic situations knowing that it has a negative effect on them and they still decide to stay in those type of situations? Why do you think that is?
I think sometimes people stay in those toxic relationships because they feel like they accept what they think they deserve or like what they value themselves as, and they don't think they can get better than what they're currently in. Unfortunately,
it also I think goes with comfortability as well. Like I feel like a lot of people are just comfortable, and like you mentioned earlier, it's like glorified and normalized on social media. Everyone's on social media every day, so you see that and then think like, well, they did it, so like obviously it's okay. And we're just like programmed that way. So I don't think, honestly, people gonna be toxic until the end of time. Like I don't think that's ever going to. It's not a thing that you grow up out of. honestly.
I
don't think so.
What do you think? I gotta hear what you guys say about it. People are always gonna be toxic to the end of time.
Yes, that's what I think. So you think it stops at a certain age? Because
no, toxic is not ageless.
Yeah.
Anybody, you could be 80 years old and still be toxic.
That's what I'm saying. It's always gonna.
Like Donald Trump, old ass man, he toxic as hell. He toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's endless. Yeah, I can't.
But that's why we have to put in that work in ourselves and to be better. Put in that spiritual work. That's why we gotta have these boss talks. That's why we have to have these boss talks, these conversations to make ourselves better.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. That ain't gonna work.
Why do you think?
I feel like, especially within our community, I think we do a lot of talk and not enough action. Like,
that's also true.
You know what I mean? Like 100%. I feel like things are like a trend. Like if toxic is a trend right now, everybody's gonna hop on that. If not being toxic and working on ourselves is not a trend, we're gonna start that, but then it never goes long term. So I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't change.
So now, what I would ask you is, why has that become such a cycle for us to hop on the trend and get off the trend? When it shows us no growth, it doesn't show. Like we always look at these other races with dreams and aspirations to be better than them, but we're not putting in the work. And then we look at generational
curses. Yeah.
But the generational curses can be broken by us. We just need to put the work.
How? If we don't have the role models to help, like if we never had the, I understand what you mean. Like at a certain age, we should know and want to change for the better. But then, like, if majority of your life that's all you knew, it's kind of hard to kind of take that step into doing something totally different because people are scared of change. You know, people, and then that also comes with being vulnerable too. I feel like when you're not toxic, that's you being vulnerable and being like the bigger person, and people don't know how to do that. So
change is hard regardless, like whatever type of change. Like some people don't like change, and I feel like really it's all about taking those steps. If you want to really do that, and just seeing like the process you want to go through.
So would you say that people don't have the motivation, that they lack the motivation to better themselves?
Because
everybody, because the New Year, we just had the New Year's. Everybody had like their New Year's resolutions, and it's February already. How many people are actually keeping up with that? Trying to better their habits, you know? Exactly. It's a lack of motivation, I think so. But if you truly believe in yourself, I truly believe that if you can do it. Right. Whether it's breaking those toxic relationships, breaking those toxic habits that you have, and elevating yourself. And there's proof of people that actually have done it.
It's all about your mindset.
And I hear what you said about people lacking the emotional help to get to that level, but it's like if you want better, you'll do better, and you have the opportunities everybody else has. YouTube is free. YouTube is free.
No, yes, people lack it. No, I feel like people lack resources.
We lack the resources they have, but we can still attain the same information.
How? There might be. I feel like I don't know because there's people that I don't know live in the hood that don't have no internet, that don't have. I don't know.
Maybe on the internet, video game playing Call of Duty. They have the internet
because it's easier.
And then I have the homies that have put themselves through college that wanted the growth and they attained it. They can at least say they got the bachelor's, and that not everybody can say that. I say it every podcast. I can't coddle us.
I think it starts at the discipline from your household. Yeah. If you weren't raised the right way, you're not gonna have that.
You're not gonna have that. It's gonna
maybe
be so
we
hard
have that mindset because we were raised by strict African parents, so it's easier for us. But most people weren't raised in that type of household, so they don't know better.
That may be true.
I like
but
that.
But they can know better.
But they can do better. You can look in the mirror. You can look in the mirror and you can look at.
It's just not going to be as easy.
You can even hate.
Yes, I agree with both what you guys are saying. Like people have different upbringings, but you said like just because you have that upbringing doesn't mean don't make excuses for yourself. You can still be better and know what you're doing right from wrong. But it's just going to be a harder.
You can look in the mirror and you can say I want that. You can either hate. Better.
So I have an example of
there's
that.
There's two paths.
So say you were born in the hood, right? And everybody around you is a drug dealer selling drugs, but you know the consequences of that. Are you going to say just because you were born in that environment and you see everybody doing that, that's all you know and that's what you have to do too?
I don't agree with that. Personally,
or are you going to know in the back of your head that this is wrong?
Right.
And you still have to make the right choices at the end of the day.
Right. I agree with that, but everybody is not built like that. I feel like a lot of people are like mentally weak, and that's like not being disrespectful. I just feel like they lack the emotional intelligence. It's like monkey see, monkey do in the hood. So it's like, okay, that person, and then in the hood too, especially people want the fast money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like people not thinking of the consequences when they're just trying to eat the next day and they know selling drugs is gonna get them that bread.
Yeah.
Then also a lot of people are young parents. They do what they have to do.
Mhm.
So that's why I say I'm 50-50 with the toxic.
Yeah, that's
like it's
But to what extent?
That's-
It's like if you continue to say, "Oh, the world is so against me," but
Mhm.
you fantasize, you love that toxic shit.
Mm.
That toxic shit gives you the thrill that you need to get you going every day. Then why are you complaining about the effects that happen?
that's
Because
a
of
fact.
it. And it's like that's why I say that toxicity, you need to get it out of your life.
But I think toxicity is just deep rooted in humans and just like I feel like there's no escaping that because all right, for example, do you feel like as Black people like we are like systematically oppressed?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's toxicity deep rooted inside the America, inside humans. They built that toxicity. So that's why I say it's no way to even escape that, especially as minorities. Like how can you even when the system is literally built against us and it's so much easier to fall victim to the system because sometimes you get to your destination a little quicker in their head. Like being not toxic or trying to be against the status quo is hard.
It definitely is harder because the system is against us, like you said, but it's still possible to break out of that. You just have to be mentally strong. But it is easier to just fall victim and not have that mental toughness and just be like, oh, the odds are stacked against me. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But you just have to want better for yourself. If you don't
Sure.
want better for yourself, it's not going to happen. Exactly.
But you can still you can still want better for yourself and it's still stacked against us.
I mean, like as minorities, we have to work 10 times as harder. That's a fact. But I feel like like you said, like it's all about what are you gonna do to you're gonna work 10 times harder. But what are the resources you're gonna try and take that you can get to become better than what you are currently?
Do you feel like white people have that mentality of the crab barrel thing? Like I feel like Black people, like we so great together, but like we're also so against each other at the same time. White people, I feel like stick together all the time.
Well, they stick together against other people. But against
Yes.
each other, they'll climb on top of each other.
Mm.
If that means I gotta get to that CEO position to step on you, Bob, I'm stepping.
Not Bob.
I'm sorry, man. Coffee tomorrow, though.
That was a fact, yeah. For
But
sure.
Do you consider yourself toxic?
Yes.
I know Casey does.
Yeah.
She's like, it's deep rooted in me. I am
Yeah.
Nah,
I
I
try not
definitely
to
think I have some toxic ways, definitely, but I'm definitely trying to unlearn them and being more aware. And am I taking those correct steps to be better?
You know, so what would you say makes yourself toxic?
Oh man, I feel
You
like
can just say one thing.
okay,
One
yes. Maybe I always think that I'm right. Maybe that could be. I think that's toxic.
pride.
Yeah, it's
What's your
pride.
sign?
A Libra.
Libra.
Yes. And y'all ever had bad encounters with a Libra? I feel like
I don't
we
do
get
tracking
most-
signs. Honestly.
Oh my gosh.
The
Put
only
you on
sign I know about
astrology.
is stop.
All I know is Capricorn is the best sign.
Pisces.
Please. Your birthday just passed?
Yeah,
Heard. Happy belated.
thank you.
I'm trying to think of something.
But yeah, I just think the ability of always trying to get the last word. I don't know. I just feel like
I do that too.
Always trying to get the last word.
Yeah.
That's very toxic.
so it can stay in your mind. Like you see what the fuck I'm saying? Like let it marinate. So like
So
The toxicity is coming out. It's coming
that's a
out.
fact. So now I would ask real quick, how do you overcome that toxicity?
it's just about like trying to say earlier, being aware and kind of like stopping it in its tracks, kind of practicing like, okay, I know I want to get the last word, but I'm gonna just let you have it. It's really pointless, to be honest, to try to get the last word. But it just does something in me, it riles me up. Like, yeah, I won. You know? I like
Cheers.
For
That's
real.
bad. What makes you toxic?
I don't know. I would say I'm an overthinker, and honestly, like
That's
if you
toxic
don't,
though.
well, no, let me. If
That
you
can
don't,
be toxic.
if you don't tell me what it is, I'm
assume.
assume like, okay, if you didn't tell me A and B, okay, I'm gonna be A, B, C, D, E, F, like all of that. Like that's how I am. Like, why you ain't just let me know what it is up front? Because if you don't, now I'm thinking all types of different things.
But that's why God made the alphabet. You gotta get to Z.
Man, no, tell me what it is, so I don't gotta get to Z.
No, because I do the same thing. I don't think that's toxic. I think that's just
No.
preparing
It
for
can
my.
definitely be
yeah.
toxic.
It
Because
can
if
be, but just be like. don't make me overthink.
It's
Be
toxic.
real.
It's toxic if you act on those possibilities. It's if you just bring up the possibilities.
Because
No,
even
but-
that will change the way you think about
I was about to say
person.
that. The
Wow.
And the
mental
way
is
you
gonna fuck
maneuver,
your mental.
the way you maneuver with that person
Yes.
really does, because you're gonna
Yes.
create scenarios in your head that don't really
Yes.
exist, and
Yeah.
now you're mad at that person for stuff
But
that they didn't
That's
even
why
do.
you can't act on it. That's why you can't. Act
That's not acting.
That's
That's emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you
Yeah,
feel
man.
about the person.
You could just
That's not
overthink.
doing
I
something to
overthink
them.
every situation. That's not toxic. That's just me preparing for the
It's-
future.
but
That's
no.
how I see. I see it as
that's
possible
being toxic.
plan.
But
You're preparing for stuff that
the worst.
didn't
Didn't
even
happen.
happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's very toxic.
That's how you stay 10 steps ahead.
No.
No.
Damn, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
That's what
No.
it is.
That's being
not-
toxic though. You're preparing for stuff that
Yeah.
that's not even gonna happen, or that could not even
And
happen.
then do y'all ever overthink positive shit?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I
What,
do.
on what?
The future. What the?
That's the complete opposite
But-
of being toxic. Overthinking something positive,
Mhm.
manifesting something positive.
Every negative thing I overthink, I try to think 3 times positive. For me, I just try to think 3 times positive to offset it. But at the end of the day, you have to still overthink that stuff because just in case you come across a situation, now how you gonna maneuver it?
It depends what type of situation.
That's
Because if it's a
overthinking, though.
relationship,
I think it
you
depends
talk
on
about you have a backup, like something, a safety plan. Like say you have a plan, right? A vision, or say like it's a business or something, like, and it doesn't fall through. You still have something, plan B to fall. That's not toxic. That's just being smart.
Yeah.
But thinking 10 steps ahead of, oh no,
Yeah.
the zombie apocalypse is gonna happen. You feel me? I gotta prepare. I gotta have all these guns and stuff in the like.
You don't
That's
have to overthink
toxic.
that. Yeah,
That's how it sounds, though.
That's
how it sounds.
overbearing. I won't say it's toxic. It's like
That's
for
toxic.
what to what extent you doing it? Are you just preparing? Are you planning? You never know because the economy is fluctuating as we can see. It's all on the news. So are you just preparing for a possibility in the future of the markets crashing? No, I would say you're thinking.
That's
ahead.
not toxic. Like
That's
I said,
not-
that's
yeah.
not toxic. That's
Well,
having
you're
a plan
saying
B.
those are zombie preppers.
But putting
Now, if they take it to another level, now they go into their basement and excavate. That's toxic, though. Like, for me, like
is very toxic.
Wait.
I'm not even talking because we're going into a different type of
Yeah.
section. I was just talking about what she was saying, how like a situation with a person, how somebody didn't tell her something, and now she's thinking of 10 different scenarios, and that's very toxic. To
And
take
then
it that
even
far.
to
act on
mention,
it is
you
toxic.
said
I got
with
toxic.
Take it that
situations
far.
like that, you also think like 3 times positive. Say if you had a girl and she not answering her phone, and the last time you saw her was on Instagram with some guys that you don't even know. You overthinking, no?
Yeah.
So what's the
why
so-
you just gonna go
So
somewhere like that?
so where's the positive thinking that you say that you do and not overthinking?
I did. It's like, how do you not overthink that situation? Last time you see a girl is she's
'Cause
on
if you
social
know-
media
no,
posting around
bro.
some niggas.
Okay, a situation like
Yeah,
that,
well,
that's different
so
though.
bad,
Like that's
maybe.
already okay. If that's your girlfriend and the last thing you see on her Instagram is her with a whole bunch of dudes you don't know, obviously that's an over exaggerated situation.
That's
We're talking about something that you don't have too much information on. Say like you text your girl, right, and she don't respond in 2 hours. Now you're thinking, oh, what could she be doing in these 2 hours?
Not-
Thinking of all these crazy scenarios. That's toxic.
yeah.
it's 2
I'm
hours.
not saying that.
But if you have
That's
some type of
overbearing.
substantial proof and like, who are these people? I don't know them. That's different. You know what I'm saying? Toxic is when you over exaggerate something that has like doesn't need that type of energy, and you put in that energy into it.
I think that's somebody that takes it to the extreme. There's different.
That's there's
ratings.
levels to it. That's
Yeah.
when it
Yeah,
becomes
there's
toxic.
levels.
That's
Yeah.
the extreme we're talking
But if you
about.
have something that leads to some type of evidence, like of course if she's with a bunch of guys on Instagram that you don't know, that's
But that's not
different.
evidence. Just because you don't know those guys, that don't mean
That's
nothing.
substantial evidence.
No, it ain't.
That's
No, it's not. That's you assuming.
But that's
toxic.
okay.
Yeah, that's you
okay,
assuming.
but that's more realistic than her just not responding in 2 hours and you don't know what she's doing. She can have an emergency.
Yes.
That's more realistic.
Yes,
than,
for sure. Your
than her not
situation
responding and then you seeing her on Instagram with a whole bunch of guys.
because she's
That's
at a
different.
party getting lit and not paying attention to her phone.
No, that's crazy.
But that's different though. You can see the
That's
different
crazy.
levels
What
to
the
it
fuck?
though.
For sure.
We're not gonna
You-
normalize that first off.
Why
That's
not?
toxic
Because-
as fuck.
Okay, so is it toxic for the other gender as well?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're in a committed relationship like that and your partner is texting you to make sure you're good
Mm-hmm.
and you're purposely like dubbing it because you're having too much fun with the opposite sex at a party, not supervised, just lit by yourself, why would you not think he's not gonna overthink that? You're subjecting yourself to possibilities that you don't know if you would do it or not. And then the next morning you say, babe, it was a mistake.
No, I just feel like, what if we doing a video and you just see guys that you don't know. That is not automatic.
They breathing on y'all back?
What?
What's going on?
Yeah, he hopped in my video, so that automatically means we inappropriate.
And you thought that was cool to post in a relationship?
I mean,
That's
so
toxic.
let's now. So is it not toxic to dictate what we can post on social media?
To an extent, it is toxic, but you have to have respect for your partner.
But how's that disrespect? To post the opposite sex of a friend. We're just friends.
I ain't gonna lie, this goes back to the last podcast.
Look at that. Last one.
Is it toxic to have friends as opposite sex? Like
No.
best friends?
Best friends is beast. I don't like that best friend stuff. I ain't gonna
With
lie.
the best friend thing, it's kind of tricky. It all depends on how long you were best friends before you came in the picture.
I'm your best friend now.
Oh, I'm getting deja vu. Oh my
Wow.
God. This last podcast. Go watch that last episode.
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with like opposite sex having like a best friend, but it's just like it's boundaries now. Once we together, like I need to know like is this really a best friend? Because there's some people that are best friends and that best friend really want to get with you.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
if that's your best friend, then we best friends too.
No, for real.
We all best friends.
Is that not toxic?
How?
That's your best friend. Like y'all locked in.
Y'all locked in like that? Why we not locked in like
Yeah,
that?
like, we should.
I should have your number.
Now you can have their number, but you can't be in their convos. Like they'll have their own.
Why? That's my best friend now too.
What if we created our own bond?
Yeah, we gonna do that.
People do that, but they have their own dictated friendships with their own best friends.
So you will be okay with your ladies having a male best friend?
No.
So then you was just judging.
You can have a best friend, but your lady can't have a best friend.
You was just
A
judging.
female best friend, you can have a female
In the
best friend.
past, I did, but I don't have one no more. So
Let's talk about like the work environment.
Oh,
yeah.
When can that become toxic for you?
when you are limiting yourself, when you can't be yourself, or maybe your ideas is not getting heard, and you're just taking it like you're playing a smaller role. People not really seeing your potential. I think that's when it can become toxic. Oh, what you're doing?
Or you feel like every time you clock in, you're draining yourself.
Yeah,
That's not-
it's normal to obviously not want to work. Nobody wants to work, but like it's a different vibe when it's just like
Toxic in the work environment, it can be a variety of things. It can accumulate over time. The bosses being on top of you for things that they won't get on somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like now you're trying to pick on me. That's extremely toxic. At times you got an HR for a reason. Go to the HR, get a nigga fired. Fuck it. If that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do.
No.
But I don't know, is that toxic too?
It depends on the situation.
depends on-
There's
yeah,
a whole
really.
bunch of stuff that goes on
Yeah.
in the workplace.
And then I think also us being like black, majority of places is like people of white people. So like when you go into there and you're a minority, you're already kind of feeling out of place, or like you have to code switch, and not the normal code switch where you're talking to your superior, but it's just like you maybe can't fully be yourself, or you can't connect to these other people. So that's where it goes back to like you're kind of limiting yourself, and that could be toxic because you can't really show or talk the way that you want to talk.
100%. I feel like a diverse workplace is better for all of everybody.
Exactly, and
Not
it's
just one
so
race.
serious.
So I would actually, you guys have experienced that because I personally haven't experienced that.
Haven't experienced that.
I have.
I've gone into workplaces being myself.
Okay, so boom. I felt exactly how you felt until I got into my like career job of like media, and I realized in media it's really like predominantly white, especially I'm in production, so like behind the scenes is not a lot of people of color. So I kind of felt like, okay, let me not. I don't know. I think that really comes with women. Like you didn't want to like wear maybe a certain hairstyle, or you didn't want to do too much or show too much or like curse too much, what they wear and shit and stuff like that. So that's the only time I really experienced it, like working for a really huge company where it's like literally 3 people are black. So you kind of feel like a fish out of water, and you don't want to feel like the outcast or like that ratchet black person.
So you feel like you're compromising yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. Or
Your
like
personality or the way you are.
or even if you don't do that, it kind of feels like, okay, like the token black girl, like
Or the black experience. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
speak to her. Like
mhm.
So what I would ask now is why don't you use your black card advantage? Pull that black card on them. Like pull out your phone. TikTok is your friend now.
It is.
Make them go viral.
Oh my God! See, but then that
Because that's illegal to discriminate.
But I don't think they do it
You
purposely.
could get a whole lawsuit.
But they don't do it purposely. I just feel like a lot of people, a lot of
So
I hate sounding like
how How many chances do you give them with this mistake before you subject yourself to the toxicity? Then you can't complain about how they treat you. If you warn them,
no, but they don't treat me negatively. You ever met a white person that try not to step so much on your toes because you black? That never happened to you?
Yeah, I find it funny.
That's how it kind of is. Like it's like they kind
of. Sometimes you just gotta joke around. Me personally, if you're not gonna laugh about it, I will. But if you're just like an awkward white person, like that doesn't know how to interact with,
or like they're just ignorant, or the microaggressions. I know you experience microaggressions.
Yeah,
in
you
your
gotta
job.
smile back at me in their face.
Okay.
Everybody has a respect level.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta respect me for me.
I don't really deal with that. My workplace, my workplace is toxic for a different reason, not people trying to test my character. The job in itself, there's like a lack of management. There's no order in my workplace at all.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is your job like mainly people of color?
Or yeah, mainly people of color.
It's like toxic either way. Like if it's predominantly
it's
white
toxic
or black.
because there's a whole bunch of arguments.
Yeah,
people are like very petty and everything. Like some person could talk behind your back and then smile in your face the other day, but we deal with that every day, even in our daily lives.
No, that's a fact. So just to transition from that, why do we glorify toxicity? Just like going back to the Krishan Rock, Shorty,
it's entertaining.
Shorty bobbed him upside the head with a penny bottle, and everybody just laughing at him. That man is going through pain. Like
why is only
they both going through pain?
Like that's another thing I don't.
But he's putting her through pain too. But it's like, at what point is somebody gonna step in?
But that's the trauma and that's the comfortability that we all talked about earlier. Like it's kind of hard to get out of that. Especially, I feel like with that situation specifically, she has stated multiple times that like he saved me.
People can relate to their relationship, like people, like society, like people glorify because they can relate to it in certain aspects. Some of the people be glorifying and say, "Oh wow, now there's people that are celebrities on TV screens going through what we're going through." Like it's normalized. They're trying to normalize it. It's not okay, but
like TV, that's what they love to see,
and they getting paid for it. That's why they keep going too. It's all about money. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So can we still consider that toxicity? It's a business.
It's very toxic.
Yeah.
Because people are getting harmed.
Because all money is not good money.
But we can consider him a wrestler then.
Please.
On, bro.
No.
It's like, it's all for the bread.
Mm-mm.
And he's willingly doing it. He's a willing participant.
Yeah.
So at what point is like, he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants.
I don't know. Taking the high road and being positive is boring to some people.
Yeah.
Being toxic is fun.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's easier.
Fun. It's easier for more people.
Yes.
Taking the high road and things is.
And nowadays, you taking the high road is like equivalent to you being pussy. Like you don't want to look weaker. You don't want to be more vulnerable, and you want to have that edge also. So I feel like people give into that off of their ego and pride a lot. Our generation sucks. Like I think we're the most toxic generation.
we're sick.
For sure.
It's not only our generation.
Yeah.
Every age group has their own version of toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people are like people's grandparents. They was toxic for different reasons.
They was on drugs.
And they had a lot of kids.
And they had a lot of kids, yeah. But we doing that in this generation too. There's a lot of like heavy.
So that goes back to my original point. At what
curses.
point do we look in the mirror and look back at history? Like history is there for us.
System, how it's built, the generation curses is all wrong. We're gonna complain at the end of the day. You're right. We do have a choice to be better and to change the narrative. Like we said, it's already instilled. So we still. Why is it even instilled in the first place? You know, work harder.
I think the best thing we can do is just try to change it in our own lives and
that's
try
it.
to influence people around us as best as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Even though some of those people don't want to hear, like they're not doing things the right way or they don't want to take your advice, because toxic people, they hear their advice from their friends. Their friends will probably tell them, no, this is not good for you. Don't do that. Get out of that situation. But they still run back and do the same thing. So at the end of the day, it's up to the individual.
Yeah,
so
just be more.
Do that individual work in yourself.
Oh.
The first step is to acknowledge that there is a problem.
Yes.
So once you figure out that there is a problem,
accountability.
That's the first step.
Accountability. So I think that's the message for today.
Accountability and be more. Boss made.
I have a question. What do you do if you're on the road to like, you know, self-awareness and trying to be non-toxic? What do you do when the people closest to you are not in that vibe yet? Do you distance yourself? Do you like?
Yes, I think you should distance yourself from that.
But what if? Okay, say if this is your mother, this is your girlfriend, like people real close to you. That
no matter who it is.
So the title or the rank does not matter at all.
I think
Your own self-happiness
I like
matters
that.
more than
That's a fact.
anything else. Because at the end of the day, you came in this world by yourself, you're leaving by yourself.
I don't know why people say that. That's not true.
It is
You
true.
do not come into this world by
Well,
yourself.
what you do?
No, you don't. You
You
have
do.
the assistance of your mother.
I mean,
And
but
you
you
see
don't-
your mom and father as soon as you get out the
That's
room.
it's just
You
an
don't-
analogy, you know what I'm saying? Like
I know, but like, I don't like that analogy. 'Cause it's so
you
not
wake
true.
you wake up as yourself
Yes.
every day. You look at yourself in the mirror in the morning. It's you and you versus you, not you versus anybody
Everybody
else.
Yeah, you
So-
versus you all 2023.
At the end of the day, it's what's inside of you that you got to deal with.
Even how
So-
people. So if your friend is moving or doing things in a way that you don't agree with, and you see it's toxic, but it has nothing to do with you. It's just how they live their life. You distancing yourself, or
No,
going
you're
against
gonna
the same
as a
kind of
friend,
facts.
especially if that's your friend, you
Yeah.
got to tell them.
Yeah.
But
you
they
know,
don't
'cause
listen.
We tell our friends all the time when they
I hold my friends accountable.
we hold them accountable. We call them
And
out.
if you
all
don't
the
want to
time.
listen to me, hey, that's your business.
Yeah.
But you still their
And then,
friend.
but at some point, it's like, how many times you gonna push me away before I take offense?
The
to it?
only way I would distance myself from that situation is if it negatively affects me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is when that toxic energy just starts spreading in my life, and I see that, then it's where
Yeah, now
it's
you
over.
fucking up my shit. You gotta
It's
go.
over.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I'm saying?
what I would say to that is I'm giving you the gems, and I see that you're at least trying to, like, you're intaking my words. It's not just going in one ear and coming out the other. Like I said, I'm gonna take offense if I'm talking to you. I'm pouring my heart out to you to try to see you rise up in life. Like I don't want to only see myself at the top of mine. I want to see everybody at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're taking my words and you throwing it on the ground, like you're stomping on it, like, hey, obviously don't value my words. So I'm not gonna say deuces forever, but I'm gonna love you from a distance.
Yeah, love from a distance.
That's the
That's
big
love.
move for 2023. Love from a distance.
That's not toxic. That's just.
It's not. That's protecting yourself. I feel like.
I like this was very informative. We
Yes.
spoke about toxicity, but make sure y'all like, comment,
subscribe.
comment below like your version of toxicity.
Yeah, what is toxic?
Share it, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We holla at y'all. Boss Socks.
All sorts, we out of here.
Lately I've been thinking what's the better route. Gotta watch at that back door, they tryna take me out. I ain't getting paid once.